Hey, what's up, folks? A bunch of technical difficulties this Thursday evening. Everything that was going wrong could go wrong. Hopefully, can you guys hear me 5x5? Do I sound and look okay on the screen? It looks like it from this end. Oh, let me see here. Shot fire was real bad. It was running 4 buildings. All right, I see some 5x5s coming in. So let me say hello to some of you folks in chat before we get started. I have a few things to go over before we get into the topic of tonight's discussion, which to me I find very intriguing. And this may help some of you folks kind of nail down what you're prepping for. All right, so I see JT's in the house, TN Prepping Lady, B Walker, Little Lone Prepper, Yarn Prepper, Coffee First and Speak. Let me see, American Country Boy. Who else do we got in here? Barbara, Willow, Jan. Greg, I can't even speak. Greg, you know who I'm talking about from Brazil. My apologies. Auslander info. For some reason, I just can't spit that out tonight. One of those nights, man. It's been an extremely busy day. South Florida, DCL. Angela's also here with us this evening. Truly appreciate that. Marilyn, good to see you as well. Linda Bob. Who else we got? Colleen Rich is here. Viv B. Black Curl Whirly Gig. Thank you for joining us this evening. Let me see. Scroll down a little bit more. Rock is here. Good to see you, Rock. Survival Buzz. Does anyone know? Linda, the emails that I got, he got a strike and then fought the strike and won, so he's back up. Hopefully that helps, Linda. What's up, River Rat? Oh, it's going to be one of those nights, folks. You guys are going to be definitely entertained this late night show. What's up, Frank? Good to see you as well. I see Michael Davis, Marie Pedersen, Teresa D. Who else do we got in here? Kaylin, good to see you. Yarn, you were here first. I didn't back it all the way up. Audrey is in the house. Let me see. Shift Engineering, what is up? Richard Moore, Dragon Slayer. Who else do we got? JRC, Van City Adventure, Survival Buzz, Brian Barbie. Let me see. Little Alaskan Home Place, Chris Marie, Sherry Chapman. Mona, I think I got you, Mona. If I didn't, hello again. K. Paul. All right, so good to see everyone. Scrapper's here as well. Lori in Oklahoma. Everybody's moving in or joining in on the live stream. What's up, Mark Witcher? Good to see you. Speaking, I finally got to go to my P.O Box, which has been like 3 or 4 weeks since I've been there. And I want to say thank you to Michelle Mitten Prepper for the card that she sent me in regards to the passing of my aunt. It was very kind and very sweet of her to do that. If I see her in here, I will let you know. Let me see. B Walker, are you free to talk about chocolate tonight? I have it too. Roger that, B Walker. Sandra Johnson hanging out. Hope all is well prepared as you can be. God bless. God bless you as well, Sandra. But anyways, Sherry is in the house. And I wanted to say, Sherry, thank you for sending me the postcard. I miss you guys. When you guys, I used to get postcards all the time. But Sherry sent me this postcard from Arizona. This was back on July 22nd. 2022. That's how long it's been since I've been in my P.O. Box. So much stuff was in there. Anyways, it's hello, GreyMan Prepping. Just a note to say how much I appreciate your show. Blessings to you and your family and you, Sherry Chapman. Thank you so much, Sherry, for that. I truly appreciate the postcard. You know I love postcards. And I can't wait to display them once I get into the new home. What's up, Tigerhead? Good to see you. Yeah, I figure, Sherry, you're probably wondering, where did Grey ever get that postcard? Good to see you, Sunset, as well. Mo Prepper in the house. Doctor is here as well. All right, so I approve of that message. Roger that, B. What's up, Quest? Good to see you. So I was trying to load up a blooper that I had for you guys, but what's this called? This StreamYard will not let me load it up. It says your browser is having trouble sharing your video. So I guess it doesn't want to share the blooper. So I'm going to try to find a way to share that with you. It happened to do with the video that's going to drop tomorrow. I'm dropping a review video at noon tomorrow. So it happens to do with this here, right? This little power station, this little Nova 300 watt power station. And I made the blooper reel. I had to cut some of it out because at one part I said some bad language, but the other part was funny, and I wanted to share it with you folks because basically every time I go to do a video, and that's why I can't wait to have a garage where I can actually do a video without a bunch of crazy things happening. I appreciate that, Sherry. What's up, Patty? But the dog was barking, the crickets were chirping, the rooster was crowing, the train was going by, there was an airplane, anything that could possibly make all this background noise. The pool pump was running, which it still was running halfway through the video, but I was like, okay, there's nothing I can do about that. But it was intense. And yes, this is a very tiny little guy. And I was kind of thinking, how do I do this video with this tiny little thing? But I came up with an idea. It's a short video. I think it'll drop at noon tomorrow. And the reason it's dropping tomorrow is because the company said, hey, Grey, can you please put our video out? It's been quite some time. I know you have a very busy schedule. What did I see something about bloopers? The beans kicked in. Ostlander, right? Oh, man. And I had fun with it. I think this will be great for people who need like a CPAP or lighting, or need like a little device for their dog. Plus, they sent me a solar panel that I was kind of impressed with as well. But I'll be dropping that review video tomorrow. I felt bad for the company. They sent this to me probably a month and a half, 2 months ago. And with the death of my aunt, a lot of other things going on, and other reviews, videos that I had scheduled in front of it, they were just very polite. They were very courteous. And they just said, hey, can you please get it out by the 26th? I said, I'll do what I can. So if you guys are interested in something like that and watching me, it's a crazy video, folks. I got beard hairs growing out of every part of my orifice on that video. I looked like I just rolled out of bed. It was quite interesting, but I still had fun doing the video. My wife has watched it because it's unlisted at the moment. And I asked her, what do you think? And she said she enjoyed it. She thought it was pretty funny. And she thought I did it okay, or not okay. She said I did a good job. I always say okay job because I'm never proud of my own content. You know, I want to do better. But I did the best what I could with this little device. So if you guys are interested in stuff like that, check it out tomorrow at noon p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right. I appreciate that, Carol. I appreciate that. Even if you don't, I tell folks, even if you're not interested in reviews, it's fun to see Grey do some of the bloopers that he does and forgets that he does them and still puts them live on the channel. So those are always entertaining as well. When I trip over my own words or whatnot. But I had fun doing it. I threw a little twist in there to have fun with, you know what I mean? Some magic per se in the video to have fun with it. Anyways, folks, most of you folks are here because you guys want to know prepping for my worst case scenario. What is my worst case scenario? So the reason I wanted to do this video is because a lot of people ask me, hey, Grey, what are you prepping for? Hey, Grey, I'm prepping for this. Do I have what I need? And all these different topics that get presented to me in emails and comments, even in letters. I get some letters from folks that are saying, hey, you know, this is a personal letter. I don't want you to air this on YouTube, but I need some help. I'm started prepping and I don't know where to start. So this is what I prep for. My main key reason for prepping for this is because if you prep for this, this kind of covers almost everything. This will almost cover everything you could possibly prep for, okay? What's up, Texas T? Thank you for the super chat, brother. I truly appreciate the additional support on the channel, my friend. Thank you so much, man. I have to get a new cell phone. Poll, iPhone or Samsung? Sunset, I will say Samsung. I'm a Samsung person at heart. I just love their products. And funny enough, if people who have iPhones don't realize it, their screens are made by Samsung. Thank you, Allison Sherman. Good to see you as well. Saw it pop in there. So here's what I prep for. I prep for long-term grid down. Basically that encompasses EMPs, CMEs, any type of consistent power outage that lasts longer than 90 days. And the reason I say that, and if the grid ever gets hit, be it cyber attacks, be it EMP, be it coronal mass ejection, be it some sort of nuclear terrorist attack, whatever it may be, if the grid goes down for a certain amount of period of time, it's probably going to go down for quite some time. People think that if our grid is damaged, they'll just fix it. They got spare parts laying around, no problem at all. Down below in the description, I have a link to, and I'm going to bring up his website up here in a minute. But I want to go over a few things because a lot of people that I talk to say, well, won't the Army save us? Won't the government send out FEMA? Won't the DOD or the Department of Defense, don't they have backup plans for this stuff? So I don't think that you should have to prep for that. And I'm going to show you a couple little articles real quick, and then I'm going to explain some of the reasons why I think this is one of the best things to prep for, that kind of encompasses almost anything that you can possibly prepare yourself for down the road, and why. So let me go ahead and bring up my little share screen here. And let's do this here, bring that up, and bring up my first article. And we're only going to go over a couple of articles tonight, folks, because we're going to do a lot more talking, because there's a lot of things that people don't understand about this scenario. And it's huge. It's huge. And a lot of folks may know some of this stuff already, which is great. But some of you folks are new and, you know, are just starting out, just getting going with the whole prepping thing. And where's my file at? There she is. So I'm going to go over a couple of articles here and one website. And let me also bring up chat so I can see you guys over here. Let's start with this. And I'm going to try to make this a little bit bigger. There we go. That's kind of big on the screen so you guys can see it. So this was an article written down back in 2020. Okay. It says, despite the devastating consequences an attack like this could have on the power grid, it pales in comparison to a cataclysmic effect of a man-made or naturally occurring electromagnetic pulse or EMP event, according to Dr. Peter Pry. Dr. Peter Pry is part of the EMP Commission. And I'm going to bring up his site here in a little bit. He's the executive director, Task Force for National and Homeland Security. An EMP could potentially wipe out 90% of the U.S. population if the resulting blackout lasted longer than a year. 90% of our population, folks. Just let that sink in. 90%. It's a scary, scary, scary fact. The Congressional EMP Commission, on which I served, calculated that within a year of a blackout that knocks out the national grid, we would probably lose up to 9 out of 10 Americans through starvation, disease, societal collapse. And what they mean by societal collapse is, you know, all the bad stuff, the looting, the killing, the murders, and everything associated with humans gone awry. It says the only reason we can sustain a population of 310 million, which I think we're at 324 million now, Americans, is through technology. So if we lose technology, that's a huge issue. I watched a video today on Fox News, right? They had a farmer that was very excited. This farmer out, I think he's out in California somewhere, or maybe not. Maybe he was somewhere else. But there was a farmer that was so excited that he has a new computer system that will do the watering for him, that will do the fertilizer. He has a John Deere automated machine. He's cutting costs. Everything is integrated. He pushes buttons and it does all this stuff. And all he has to do is sit back and his farm is taken care of. He doesn't have to pay a bunch of people to do the work. And I thought to myself, what if the power goes out? What if the grid goes down? This farmer's whole operation is dependent on a signal that travels through the air for all the machines to communicate with each other, as well as everything is incorporated into the technology that runs his farm. And he does corn, specifically popcorn. And I was like, and he's very excited about that. And I'm thinking any old school farmer probably would not think this is the best idea. Anyways, off the ramble, back to the article. If you take that away, we don't have any way of feeding, providing water, or even providing communications and government for an orderly society that is going to sustain 310 million Americans. Let me take a sip of water so I can speak correctly. Anyways, basically, he's saying that there's no way that FEMA, the government, the military, or anybody could come and save the day. There's no way that they could help everyone in the United States, every single state. It would just be utter chaos. Pry said that if you measure the EMP risk in terms of a likelihood, the natural event would be the greatest threat because it is an inevitable that a geomagnetic superstorm will impact not just us, the U.S., but the entire world at some point in the future. If you remember when I talked to Dr. Bradley on that interview, I said, Dr. Bradley, do you think that we will see a coronal mass ejection like the Carrington event in our lifetimes? He said, yes. That's a scary fact, folks. That means he's saying if he's in his 40s, he's saying in his lifetime, so sometime within the next 30 years, 40 years, he expects to see an event like that happening in our time, which is a big difference because we're so dependent on technology. Anyways, where me see. However, if you think about the threat with respect to what might be the greatest to defend against, then Pry said that the aftermath of a man-made EMP, such as a detonation of a nuclear weapon, could be more devastating. Let me see. 1 second after. Yes, Jericho was a good movie. 1 second after was a great book. If you really want to look at, you need to look at John Hollerman. He has a book called Equipping Modern Patriots. It's called EMP, but it's, kind of says Equipping Modern Patriots. He also has another book that he did. He also has a website that has a lot of information about this material. And matter of fact, some of the things I'll be talking about is from some of his books that I've read or listened to. All right, moving on. So everybody says the military is the answer. The military can bring order to the United States. Well, here's the problem, folks. Most of our military, our bases and whatnot, are dependent on the civilian grid. It says the Department of Defense, the DoD, operates hundreds of thousands of buildings at over 3,000 installations, including military bases across the country. These facilities use enormous amounts of power and are 99% reliant on the commercial grid, which is the same grid that we're dependent on. So if our grid goes down, so does theirs. Now, some people say, well, doesn't the military have a hardened system to protect against EMP? Well, they have been warned. Congress has warned them. The EMP Commission has warned them. But they rather send millions and millions and trillions of dollars on other things other than working on our power infrastructure. It says, however, America's mission-critical defense facilities' reliance on an aging grid poses serious risk to an organization that must maintain 24/7 operations, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Extreme weather events and terrorism are particular concerns since both have the potential to disrupt electricity and fuel supplies for an extended period of time. It says, of course, energy reliability and resilience are imperative to military capabilities and performance. This is why the DoD uses diesel generators for backup power in the case of an outage, at times using up to 200 per base. So, okay, they have generators. Awesome. But these generators have serious limitations. To ensure total reliability, the DoD provides each building with its own specific diesel generator to meet the new demand. As a result, the DoD has grown to depend on a fleet of thousands of mismatched individual backup generators that is unusable or unable to adequately inspect and maintain. So they don't have enough people to all these different types of generators, all the parts and pieces and the maintenance. It's just not working out for them. Anyways, it says, especially since generators keep failing at a higher rate than expected. Reliance on a complicated sprawling map of generator comes with significant fuel and maintenance costs, increases emissions of greenhouse gases. I don't know why they threw that in here, and other harmful pollutants, and most critically, leaves the facilities vulnerable to fuel supply shortages and price fluctuations. I'm trying to move through these articles relatively quick. Oh, that's me. That's the blooper, but it won't have any sound. Anyways, this article here, it says the United States spends more money on military preparedness than any other country. Nearly $2 billion per day. $2 billion per day. But some of the most obvious challenges get short shrift in the federal budget. A case in point is the inability of essential defense installations to function if the lights go out for more than a few days. More than a few days. 10 years ago, the Pentagon's Defense Science Board issued a study warning that military installations are almost completely dependent on a fragile and vulnerable commercial power grid, placing critical military and homeland defense missions at an unacceptable risk of extended outage. The study went on to assert that the backup power at military installations is based on assumptions of more resilient grid than exists and in much shorter outages that might occur. So they might be able to do, if it's a quick power outage, 8 to 10 hours, maybe a day, they're going to be okay. But if it gets long, 3 or 4 days, then it becomes an issue. This is our military. These are the people that are here to defend our country. Just mental note, right? It says nothing has been done. Nothing has been done during the intervening decade to remedy these vulnerabilities. Nothing, folks. In fact, the danger has grown worse as overseas adversaries such as Russia, China, North Korea, and Iran increasingly probe the U.S. electric grid using cyber tools. So they know that these countries are looking at our grid. With 99% of the electricity used at a domestic military sites coming from outside the fence, meaning off base, the military is limited in its ability to prevent an online disruption of power sources. All right. So someone asked me one time, there was a thing done back in 1962, folks. Our government, remember when our government used to just blow nukes off out in the ocean and, to test things, I guess when it was okay. But back in the 1960s, there was a program called Starfish Prime. I have a picture too to go with this. Basically, on July 9th, 1962, the United States Air Force launched a 2,200-pound W-49 nuclear warhead into space. It exploded with a yield of 1.44 megatons, 248 miles above the Pacific Ocean. They had no idea what they were doing, folks. Starfish Prime, the most powerful and highest space nuclear test ever conducted, produced a flash of light visible over much of the Pacific for 7 minutes after the explosion. An artificial red aurora danced in the skies over an island group as widely separated as Hawaii, Tonga, and Samoa. The blast electromagnetic pulse damaged electrical systems on I'm going to see if I say this right, Oahu, 800 miles away from the explosion. 800 miles away from the explosion. This still created a situation on the electrical grid. Let me see if I have the picture here. So that was a picture from the plane. That's what the skies look like. This picture is very old, from 1962. But yeah, quite a scary fact, folks, that most people think that there's things that are going to solve the issues, like the military or the DOD or FEMA. Not so much. Mo Prepper, it would be devastating. I'm assuming they're a little bit smarter at this point, that they probably wouldn't try that again. Roger that, never done prepping. So some of the things I'm going to talk about here, real quick, let me show you down below. This is the website that I have for you folks. And then we'll get into chat because that's what I want to field some questions in regards to some of you guys' thoughts on certain things here. I know I have it here somewhere. Where is the stream? Dr. Pry, here he is. So let me go ahead and bring this up. And this is linked down below in the description in case you want to look into this. His name is Dr. Peter Vincent Pry. He's executive task force, the guy that put out some of this material, and has a lot of information here. But if you look through some of the things, you can look through this here. But this is some more of the latest stuff that he has. EMP weapons, how to beat the U.S. military in a war. Quite an interesting article when you click on it. It goes into a lot of information. This was done in 2020. It says America has never been more threatened by existential threats than it is today. So it's not like it's something that's just non-existent, folks. It's something that the EMP Commission has been trying to tell Congress, and Congress and this House and the Senate, all the way up the chain, just don't feel like it's that important. They don't feel like that's going to be a possibility. So it could be the sun. It could be a cyber attack. It could be a terrorist attack. It could be an EMP, a nuclear detonation up in the sky from one of the people like China, Russia, Iran, and all the other countries that had these capabilities now. Matter of fact, North Korea, I think last I looked, had 62 viable nuclear weapons at their disposal. Let me see here. We the people, good evening, GreyMan and everyone. South Colorado Stutter, good to see you. Sunset, he probably does. He's been around for quite some time. He did, Allison? He died? Wow. Shows you I'm behind the game, but thank you for that. As a matter of fact, I just saw him on a live stream several months ago. When did he pass away? Wow. Okay, Texas T, thank you so much. Hey, Rosemary and Pony Girl. Dr. Pry passed away a day before yesterday, so it just happened recently. What a shame. He was a very intellectual individual and was trying to basically help America to get ready for what's to come. All right, so thank you, Marvin. All right, so enough of me tripping over my words and reading these articles. I'm pretty sure you guys rather just see the crazy bearded face man here on the TV screen. What's up, Alien Prepper? Good to see you, man. Thanks for beaming down and hanging out with us. K-Paul, I'm not exactly sure of his death. I'm going to have to look at it. Viv says he did battle cancer. Sing Dinger, they don't need nukes now to do these things from the other countries. They can do it from the home countries or satellite. Very easy, folks. Yes, you're absolutely right. Matter of fact, North Korea is working on some sort of satellite deployment system that actually crosses over the United States at a specific spot in space, which is kind of centralized over the center of the United States. Just to say, it's kind of scary if they ever did wanted to put some sort of tactical situation in that. Now, folks, I'm not here to scare you, but if you were to prep for this situation, if you were to prep for a long-term power outage, right? What does that cover? Well, if the power goes out, there is no heat, there is no cooling, there is no fuel. Everything that you can possibly think of runs off the grid. Now, some folks say, well, Grey, I'm off the grid. I have nothing to worry about, Grey. I don't live on the grid. I'm not dependent on the grid. So Jonathan Hollerman actually made some great sense. After I've been reading his books, I was like, I never thought about that. So for instance, you're in the woods, right? You're in your off-grid cabin. You're living it up. You got your family there. You guys have solar power. You guys got a year or two worth of food. You're living it up. You're doing good, man. And it's a little bit depressing, but what he said is once the cities burn and people start to come out, right? And start to move into the wilderness, hunting, down people like us, basically farmers, homesteaders, people off in the woods. He said, what about if there's a couple good old boys that might be hungry? They need to feed Sarah and Tommy their children. Maybe they normally wouldn't kill somebody, but they see you and your cabin. The smoke is coming out the chimney. You got solar panels. You guys look healthy. You're clean. So you must have something, right? So they don't need to come and raid your cabin. They don't. Because to keep a fire going, if you're in a northern region and you're chopping wood, and some of you folks may know this, you got to go chop wood. You got to keep the fire fed, right? That's a task in itself to feed a fire all winter long, right? So you have your wife, your kids inside, they're all cozy next to the fire. You're going to go chop some wood. Well, Bob has his 30-06 and he's about 100 yards out. And he's been watching you for the last few days. So when you go out there to go chop some wood, Bob takes a shot, and he's a good aim because Bob's been hunting for 25 years. He takes you down. That leaves your wife and your children inside that home. Then Bob and a few of his folks decide to move in because they took out the biggest threat because they've been watching you for quite some time, right? So Bob knows there's a 7-year-old, 8-year-old, or roughly around those age groups, and a woman in that home. He's watched her. Maybe she's not. Maybe she is trained with a rifle. Maybe she's not. Maybe he's watched her put her rifle down. Maybe he's watched her not carry a firearm on her when she's out helping the husband. Well, the husband's now gone. He's lost his life, not even knowing he lost his life from a distance, 100 yards. Let's say 300 feet. That's not a hard shot for most of us that are familiarized with rifles that go hunting, right? So he brings the crew, and they take what you have. A lot of folks will do things that they normally would not do in a situation. So here's the complacency with a lot of folks that say, well, I'm off grid. I'm far enough that no one's going to harm me. As time progresses, things will get very, very bad. Let me see. I saw something somewhere. Where it goes. Vigilant Preparedness is MAG. Mutual Assistance Group. It takes a village to protect this idiot. Right? What's up, Van City? For intruders, make Vietnam look like a sick joke. Roger that. I'm kind of backing up so I can see what you guys are saying. I could live in my van. It has a plug for my travel crock pot. LOL. Carol, what's up, Charlie? Good to see you. Long time no see. Hope you're doing well, brother. So yes. Okay. So I don't want to get anybody to say, man, well, I'm prepping for no reason because no matter what I do, someone's going to get me, right? The thing is a mutual assistance group is probably one of your best bets. Exactly, Lisa. Thank you, Yarn. We think of things sometimes on a smaller scale of things. You know what I mean? We think, okay, it's me and my family. That's who I'm prepping for. You need to build a group. And what I mean by build a group is just not anybody. You know what I mean? Even certain family members might not be the best person to bring into your group, right? There's things that you need to look at. Do you have someone who is familiar with small engine repair? Do you have someone that's good with the medical side of things? Maybe a doctor, a nurse, a surgeon, something like that. You know what I mean? Someone who's good with security. 3 or 4 guys that are prior service. You know what I mean? Because it's going to be very, very, very tough if things go truly south. And this is a sustained event. Prepping for hurricanes, prepping for storms, floods, all the other stuff that we prep for, that's doable. But a long-term grid down situation. And so a lot of folks say, well, if the power goes out, maybe they have it back up in 6 months. Think about this. How much damage to our country would happen in 6 months with no power? Okay? The entire country has no power for 6 months. Think of how much damage is going to happen. How many lives will be lost at that point? And it's not even that. It's also the disease, the hygiene. There's so much that will also happen with a situation like that, right? That's why I always preach medical preparedness. The thing is, folks, is let's say they fix the grid. Who are they fixing the grid for? Us? Because the only people that are going to be left are the gangs, the warlords, certain parts of government, some of the survivors, some preppers. How long is it going to take them to fix that? A lot of us know that these transformers, a lot of them are made overseas. If it's a world event, those people might be so focused on fixing their problem, they don't care what happens to the U.S. Roger that, South Florida. Minuteman, you're exactly right. Mo Prepper says 3 days without water, 3 weeks without food. We have 12 substations that are all made in China. How to get them? Yeah, and it's supposedly they're hidden, but a lot of folks know where these substations are. The 12 main substations that basically run this country. Someone said, I think was it Carol, that you said, I'll get in my vehicle. I will be in my vehicle. Any vehicle that's moving that has gas, you're a target. It's just, I know it's horrible to say, folks. It's kind of a downer. I've thought about that. I'm working on building a bug out vehicle myself. Something that can go extreme off-road. I don't mean just like in the woods. I mean like to places where most people can't get to. Linda, good point. What's up, Daryl? My pleasure, Miss J. Folks, I'm not trying to deter you from prepping. I'm not trying to scare you or nothing like that. In my mind, this is what I'm prepping for. My worst case scenario is, I don't want to say a permanent grid down situation, but a long-term grid down scenario. People prep gas. We prep food, gas, water, medical supplies, all that stuff like that, because a lot of that stuff is going to be important. It's going to be so important to the point that if you live in the city, that's a tough one, folks, because in major cities, that's where it's all going to start. You know what I mean? There's been points in our history that we've seen things like this happen. When you have hurricanes like Katrina, look at some of the chaos that happened in Louisiana. I forget what year it was when New York had that blackout and the criminals took to the streets. Here's my thought on this is, lately we've been seeing a lot of crime, right? You've seen people raiding 7-Elevens, going in grocery stores, taking things, pushing people into railway stations. Crime statistics are skyrocketing in the big cities. And right now, all that's happening with life being normal, with power being accessible, with food being accessible. So imagine when those things are taken away. The first few days, people are just going to be confused, kind of walk around a little bit like, hey, power's out. This sucks. Let's get the barbecue out and cook something. Because that's how most people think, myself included. Let's get the barbecue out. You know what I mean? It's I'm used to power outages. But once that power outage rolls into 5 days, a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and if it's not localized, and it's the entire United States, that's truly a scary thing. But that's my worst case scenario, because it's almost everything that you look at will be gone. We will be basically in the dark ages. Everything that from your banking system to the gas stations to your radios, your TVs, everything runs on some form of power. And if the grid is not there, you're going to be put in a situation. Now, when it comes to these little things, at that point, they could be a lifesaver. And what I mean by that is, and this is a small one, it could run a CPAP machine. It could run some lights. But then you have the bigger ones, of course, that I've done reviews on. And that could run a lot more, your refrigerators and stuff like that. The thing is how safe are you? You know, before someone notices that you might have power. How stealthy can you be? You know what I mean? Because if you go out of your home to check on your solar panels and your neighbors happen to be watching you and they're like, wow, he looks clean. He looks well fed, or they look well fed. You might become a target. Any long-term survival situation. That's awesome, Dragon Slayer. Also, I saw something here. What's up, Chief? Good to see you, man. I think I missed something. K-Paul says, Gray, I'm going to board up my window and use spray paint and a torch to make a house look like it had a fire. I even have some old fire extinguishers to throw on the ground. You know, and K-Paul, that's a great idea. Don't mow your grass. Make it look like it's not lived in. The thing is you're going to have to keep that up for quite some time. You got to be in it for the long haul, folks. That's the thing. You have to be in it for the long haul. Because if it goes past a month or two, things will consistently degrade into utter chaos. A lot of folks out there, the elderly, worry me, like my father. You know, he's at the age where he can't hike 20, 30 miles. You know what I mean? If he had to literally bug out from his home, he wouldn't. Matter of fact, the last major hurricane we had in Florida, he says, I'm not leaving. I'm staying in my house. If anything happens and I die, I die. At least I died in my house. There's a lot of folks that think that as well. The thing is we have to, when you look at the big picture in a situation like that, things get really complicated. But if you prepare for a situation like that, if that's what you're preparing for, if you're preparing for a long-term grid down situation, you should be covered for almost anything that comes your way. And what I mean by that is the small stuff: loss of a job, natural disaster, tornadoes, hurricanes, you know, small power outages, maybe even the collapse of the U.S. economy. You know what I mean? As bad as it sounds, the dollar going belly up is probably not as horrific as the grid going down permanently for a long period of time. It still would be bad, very bad. But if you prepare for something like this, you know, I think that would cover you on almost every basis of preparedness. Does that make sense to you folks? That's kind of when I wanted to bring it up, because this is what I'm preparing for. I'm preparing for a long-term grid down situation. I'm not saying I'm going to survive, but I'll do my damnedest to protect my family and to survive, and probably survive as comfortable as possible as I possibly can. Hello, Stephanie S. Thank you for joining us from Texas. Awesome. Appreciate that, Stephanie. That's just a weekend for Oklahoma. Sherry Chapman says, all of this makes sense. K. Paul says, yes, it does, Gray. I appreciate that. Sometimes I always like to, good night, Charlie. I'm always curious if I'm just rambling like a crazy person with a tinfoil hat, you know, or if this makes sense to my viewers. Because no matter how you look at it, it gives you a sense of security, right? Having that extra few cans of food in your home, having maybe a solar generator, having your rice and beans, having your gardening skills, you know, pretty good, your canning skills, all the things that we do here in the emergency preparedness lifestyle makes us feel a little bit safer. Unfortunately, 70% of the population or more don't think like us. I wish they would, because if we were a prepared nation, we could probably weather a huge or large scale event, because people wouldn't be trying to kill each other over a can of beans, because everybody would be prepared. Just imagine if we can get the majority of the United States on the same page that we're on. That's pretty much my goal. I'm a small fish here on the YouTube platform, but I do touch people's lives. And my goal is to get people prepared. Any person that I've got or helped out, I should say, and getting them a little bit further on their progress of prepping, or just getting into prepping, or sparked or planted that seed with that person, I hope that that person then talks to another person, and that person talks to 2 more people, then 2 people talk to 4 people, 4 people talk to 8 people, and we make something happen. Yarn Prepper says, does your daughter have hobbies in case of grid down? Get her crocheted hooks and yarn. That would be great, Yarn. Right now, her hobby is Xbox. And I tell her all the time that if we lose power, you won't have an Xbox. There is no TikTok. There is no YouTube. It's just us, your mom and myself, and the people that we associate with for a survival situation. I had a conversation with some of my my buddies that if things go south, we have something planned. A lot of us are, prior service. We all have specialties. My best friend, I guess I could say his first name. My best friend's name is James. He was in the Air Force's pararescue. He is very in tune to things. If you know what pararescue is, then you kind of understand what I mean. Me, I was a combat medic. We have other folks. Actually, James is now, he's also a nurse out in Georgia. And there's a few other folks. We have a small group, about 12 total, right? Here's the thing is some people say, well, the more the merrier. We have a group of 50 people. We're good, Grey. Can you sustain feeding that many people? Can you sustain the political infighting? And what I mean by that is, who's in charge? Who's running the show? Will this family get mad at that family? Will this person get mad at that person? Will they not agree on this and how we break down these foods? If we have to ration this, and do we have enough water for that? The larger the group, it does get a lot more complicated. To me, the sweet spot is around 12 to 15 people. That's my opinion. And I'm always open to a change of opinion, because I like to hear from you folks and your thoughts. Dance. Growing with Hudson, what's up, man? Need food on the hoof. Roger that. Anyways, folks, the whole reason behind this stream tonight, and this, a lot of you folks watch my Tuesday night stream. Evidently, a lot of people tuned into the live stream and the replay of Tuesday, because I won't be doing too many more live streams on Thursday nights. There'll be some every once in a while. Most of the time, there'll be a video, maybe a premiere. Roger that, Dragon. Things like that. So I really wanted to talk about this subject, because people are always asking me, what am I preparing for? What is my worst case thing? What's my worst case scenario? So I started digging and thinking and reading and writing down and look at my notes. What's up, Triple Threat? Good to see you, man. Hold on. Triple Threat, my apologies. I'm looking at your picture now. My apologies. Triple Threat, I swear that I've watched your content before. I'm going to kind of go over to your channel real quick, because I know you got to have a channel. I feel like I've watched your content before and commented on it. I'm going to go check something out real quick. Yes, okay, yes, Triple Threat. That's right. I was watching one of your live streams. I was lurking, per se. You have some great people in your live stream. A nice little group of folks out there. I think Boots and Bounty. I found you through Boots and Bounty. That's who it was. Juice Bio. No one has said what happened to the GreyMan Prepping Discord server. Juice, I did a whole live stream about it a while back. Basically, they took it down. They said, hey, GreyMan, your views are conspiratorial. Your pictures of your garden and all the other gardens that people show, your pictures of medicinal plants, all that stuff, that's all conspiratorial, GreyMan. So we took down your Discord. So Discord banned me from the platform. They took down the GreyMan Preparedness Network and said they will not give it back. I forwarded copies of what they sent me to some social media per se attorneys to see if there's anything that I could do. We'll see what happens. I do live in Florida, so I don't know. But my apologies, Triple Threat. Sometimes I make those mistakes. I'll say I call everybody brother when I should be saying sisters and brothers. But thank you so much for hanging out with us. But yes, I remember because I forget what live stream it was. It was a couple of weeks ago. I was watching you. And you've been growing. That's awesome. Juice, yes, seriously. D14, yes, agreed. The purge continues. I think Steven Crowder, I think he got removed off the tube for a month. Let me see. You made the right decision on Tuesday. Yes, I heard that South Colorado Stetter. Yarn Purposes Discord is bad anyways. That's exact reason why I'm making the changes on the channel that I am. It's just too risky. And I feel that we have something going good here. We have a lot of good people in chat, a lot of good people part of this community. And the last thing I want to do is lose this community and lose my communication and my platform with you guys. So all the political and all the other stuff that I used to talk about on the Sunday Shift Report, if I do that, that will be on Rumble. And my Rumble link is down in the description. So I'll try to do it at least once or twice, either every week or every couple of weeks. I'm going to try to put some content on Rumble. Basically, it'll be Grey Uncensored. If you want the political content or current events that can be a little bit dicey, that's where I'm going to be putting that material at. Here on the channel, it's all going to be about emergency preparedness, gear reviews, some live streams, interviews, hiking, gardening, cooking, things that we should be focusing on, things that I feel that should be important to a lot of us. Let me see here. Matter of fact, let me do something real quick. Give me 1 second, folks. There she is. Copy this. So I'm going to drop a link in the chat, folks. And I want you guys to go check out Triple Threat for me. Tell her Grey said hello. She's in chat, folks. I don't know if anybody shared her channel, but the link that I just popped up in there is Triple Threat's YouTube channel. I enjoy her content. I like her attitude. She's pretty cool. Mo Prepper, a Jeep build. Who's doing a Jeep build? Shh. Depending on what kind of Jeep you got. Thanks, Mo Prepper. Yeah. She's a great channel. I like it. You know what I mean? And the thing is it's tough for a lot of people when you're coming up through the YouTube algorithm. You can get stuck in certain situations, you know, and some people have great information to share, you know? Hey, Boots and Bounty, I was just talking about you. Did your ears burning? Were your ears burning? Because that's how I found her, was through you guys. Matter of fact, you guys were discussing something, I forget what. And I was lurking in the background, watching you at work. I was watching Tarsha at work. Kaylin, I love Jeeps, as you guys can probably tell. Marvin Funtime, thank you. What's up, Bizza Rizza? Jizza, good, man. Good to see you, my friend. You been all right, man? I hope you're doing good. Where are we at? We're at 50 minutes in. Do you guys have any questions for me? If you can, thank you, Willow Moonhaven. I appreciate that. Willow Moonhaven says, smash that like button, folks. I appreciate that, Willow. Any support is helpful. I appreciate it. What was I going to say? If you have any questions in regards to some of the things that I've been talking about, remember I did link down below where you can go to Dr. Pry, the unfortunately who passed away a couple of days ago. Condolences to his family. God bless his soul. He was trying to help us in regards to a grid down scenario, a long-term grid down scenario. He's been at it for quite some time. Good night, doctor. What is the best advice for defense in a grid down scenario? So Mo, let me stop that. So in case anybody else asks another question, Mo, for me, from what I'm doing, Mo, is I'm trying to have everybody in my home trained on firearms. And what I mean by that is everybody has to have the capability to effectively use a firearm, repair a firearm, clean a firearm, and know the ins and outs. Not just hand someone a firearm and say, here you go, point it that way and, send rounds that direction. I want them to know everything about that firearm. Second, matter of fact, I should probably do a video, is having armor. I know everybody can't afford it. Matter of fact, I got some videos I need to do here in the next few weeks or month. I got some topics to discuss about stuff like this. But having having some sort of defense, and armor is a defensive gear, because you want to protect yourself, right? Not everybody can afford it. No one can get, a level 3 ballistic helmet or level 3A ballistic helmet, level 3A, plate carrier, with plates and stuff like that. But also having the right ammunition for the scenario. If you have a firearm, let's say you have a Glock, whatever, right? And it's a 9mm version. Do you have enough ammo? Do you have enough clips? Do you have enough parts in case it breaks? Do you have all that stuff that is associated with that? So the first part of defense is A, having a plan, B, of course, being familiarized with your plan, and then C, utilizing the tools that you have to make that plan forthcoming, basically firearms and other different types of protections, and the gear associated with that. Hopefully that will help out a little bit. Thank you, Pony Girl. Marvin Funtime says gas mask and a ton of filters too. Can return if you can't breathe or see. Matter of fact, I'm known for doing this. You'll see the light behind me, but yes. Matter of fact, I think I have a couple of them over there. All right. I'm making a mess now, folks. Because to give him credit, yes, you want to have certain things. These are on my shelf. Different types of gas masks. This one, it's okay. I've run some tests through it. This is an Amazon gas mask, okay? Didn't work out as well as I thought it was. But anyways, let me put that down here. This is this gas mask. This is one of the best companies if you're going to buy a gas mask to go with, is Mirror Safety. I have, so some people will keep these in bags, but I keep these hanging where I need to get them hanging. And if you can see, it's kind of staged, and it's staged to the point where I can just put it on. And then, like you were saying, having lots of the correct filters also is a key point. Having a case of filters is super huge. It takes a lot of time, folks, to build this stuff up. Those are just the ones that I have there. You should have a bag. God, I have so much stuff sitting over there because I've been moving things around because we're getting ready to move to the new house here soon. Let me see here. I probably missed a lot of stuff in chat. Triple Threat, awesome. And it's a great company. Let me see here. Optimistic prepper. So even this beard here, I might not be able to achieve the best seal possible. So I have a bag with another gas mask like this. It's a gas mask bag that is part of my high speed gear per se, right? In that thing, I do have trimmers to try to get rid of some of this stuff if I had to. Some people say, well, if there's gas, you're already too late. Possibly. But at least I'm trying. You know what I mean? And that's the huge thing, folks. What's up, Suz? Better late than never. The thing is, that's all we can do is try. Try to have the proper things for whatever happens to come down the pipe, right? I don't expect everybody. I mean, some of this stuff here costs an arm and a leg. And what I mean by that is some of these masks cost a couple $100. This is the one, I bought this one for the wife. This one is still brand new in the box. She needs to use it. She needs to train with it and understand all aspects of this. Because I can train myself. I've been in the military. I know how to do certain things, but I need to train, my wife. I need to train my daughter because they need to know too. Because if anything happens to me, they need to know how to use this gear effectively and appropriately. Luckily, they don't have beards. Yeah, Brian, exactly. And that's what I mean, because I know someone will be in the comment section like, well, buddy, by the time you finish shaving that beard, you're dead. Possibly, but at least I gave it a try. Hey, Boots and Bounty, are you looking for my shirt size or my wife? My wife is usually a medium to a small. Usually she likes medium. I'm a big boy, and I always ask people if I get a shirt, I get a 3X because they shrink down to a 2X. I am 6'1", 275 pounds, a Florida boy. If you got a beard, gas mask will not seal. Beard has to go. If you wear glasses, you need to insert for your prescription. Exactly right, Scrapper. There are little inserts that you can buy. You can get them from your, I got mine from a different spot. My glasses, I don't really need glasses. Some people, oh, man, I wish I had my old military. I have a couple older gas masks laying around here too. The ones with just the little holes like this. I don't like those. And the reason I prefer something like this is, let me pull this up, is because you can see your visibility is better. You know what I mean? Also, if you want to train, the thing is you want to keep these things sealed too, folks. You don't want to break the seals on these. That's why they're still wrapped in plastic. You can take a couple out and try them, but try to buy some cheaper ones, like the little $20 ones, and learn how to make a proper seal on your mask, how to stage your mask. It's just like if you have a tourniquet. A lot of people who have tourniquets keep them in plastic. That doesn't make sense because you need to have your tourniquet staged and ready to deploy. Same thing with the gas mask. You got to have it staged for faster deployment. Now, again, the beard is an issue. Any hair on your face is an issue, even something this tiny, because it can still let something in there, especially if it's a chemical thing. Some of them, Mo, what I've done before in the past is, the anti-fog stuff. I've wiped them on there. These don't have too much of a problem with fogging up. The cheaper ones definitely do. What's up, Sue from Tampa Bay? Optimistic prepper. Yeah. So, it's funny. We had that conversation today about physical fitness, because you want to have, to me, when it comes to physical fitness, I'm more focusing on cardiovascular health. And what I mean by that is having the ability to hike my gear and walk long distances. Because having all kinds of muscles is great, but you're going to definitely take more calories to feed those muscles. Texas T, thank you for the super chat. How often do you use your medic skills? I'm a firm believer in use it or lose it. Texas T, it's something that we practice a lot. Once a month, we go with my group. We do drills. And what I mean by drills is we do drills where we'll make a phone call. This is what's going on. Meet at Bravo site, 21 Alpha. And I'll say, Roger that, I'm heading your direction, or, whatever lingo that we decide to use on that drill. And we'll go there and we'll do different things. Sometimes we'll do medical stuff. Sometimes we'll do security stuff. Sometimes we'll do all different types of things. People ask me, well, Grey, why don't you video that? That would be great to see. They do not want to be on film. They do not want to be on YouTube. They don't want their faces shown. So that's why I can't do that. I've asked them in the past, like, hey, can we do one of our drills and, kind of give everybody a look? And they're like, no. And there's no head honcho. There's no one in charge. We're a group of great friends, and we make decisions together as a whole. So if the majority of the group says no, I respect that. What's up, Y Farm? Good to see you. I'm looking to see if I missed anything, any questions that I might have missed. I'm backing it. What's up, Jeff? Good to see you. Baby shampoo is great for defogger, for snorkeling and masks. Jeff, if being in Florida, I figured you would know that too. I didn't even think about mentioning that, but good one, Jeff. What's up, GMAC? Dale. How long do the seals last on those canisters? Are you talking about these, Mr. Boots and Bounty? These guys? They have an expiration date on these here themselves. Most people can get it roughly about 5 years. I'm going to see if mine has, if I can read it to you. See if I can get through this plastic here. Dun, 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 dun. Sorry for the dead silence. I can't see it, but if you go to Mirror's website, they will actually break that down for you and kind of give you into the technical aspects of how long these things will last. You want to keep them just like you do with most of your preps. You want to keep them in a cool, dark, dry place, free of chemicals and dust and stuff like that. And you want to keep them sealed or vacuum sealed. That's to get the best longevity out of canisters like that. These are nuclear, chemical, biological filters. They're the best in the business. You can get other filters, for different things. If you're just doing something around the house and you want to wear your gas mask to try it on and mess around with it, and you're going to do some painting or whatnot, I guess you could do that, but you don't want to use these filters for something like that. Dogs are barking. What's up, CKOC? 20 years on Mirrors. Roger that. Thank you, Marvin. I appreciate that. They want to be truly gray. GMAC, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And Marvin OPSEC, exactly. I'm just kind of backing up a little bit. B Walker, I've thrown that. I've asked them that as well. Masked up and everything, and they still said they prefer not to be. They are extremely private, a lot more private than I am. Trust me, I'm sitting on here on YouTube blabbing my mouth, right? But a lot of them just have, they don't ever want to someone to recognize them and whatnot. And also the jobs that they do. I can't really speak too much about it. But some of them are still in the military and they have specific jobs, and it can create a situation. Optimistic Prepper, you're absolutely right. You can buy the best gear. You can buy the most expensive gear. You can even buy a bunker. Here's my, I want to say this before we end this live stream. People who spend $100,000 on a bunker. It's almost like you're building yourself a prison. And what I mean by that is, imagine you and your kids and maybe 3 or 4 other people in a bunker. There's no way out of that bunker once you're in that bunker. You're hunkered down. I don't know if anybody's ever been in a position where they've been in some sort of confinement for 6 months, a year. Stir crazy is a real thing, folks. And just imagine kids in that same scenario. It's a lot harder than people will say. People say, yeah, get a bunker. Spend $150,000, $200,000, $300,000 on a bunker. Build your own for $50,000. I pondered the whole bunker scenario thing in my head. And for the money and the position it puts you in, to me, it just wouldn't work. I wouldn't mind having a fallout shelter. And so I can wait, let's say max 30 days and come back out and then move forward with that, something like that. But I wouldn't want to live in a regular, let's say a shipping container sized bunker for over a year with more than 5 or 6 people in there. Why fam? See, and I can understand that. They build a bunker but are 500 miles away when the SHTF happens. This is facts. This is facts. I was having a conversation with a buddy of mine who has 1,000 gallons of diesel fuel. And I said, hey, if things go sideways, what do you plan on doing? He says, well, I'm going to move it from point A to point B and hide it in this massive garage that he has. And I said, so you're telling me in a situation where there's going to be chaos on the streets, you're going to move fuel? I said, do you have some sort of armed escort? Do you have some sort of mapped out way that you're going to get there? You sure you're not going to run into any roadblocks? You sure that other people aren't going to try to stop you from getting from point A to point B? He's a younger kid. And so I started throwing these scenarios at him. And he said, actually, good points. Because if people can't get gas and you're driving a truck with 500, I think each tank is 500 gallons, he says, that's a big target on you. I hope you have enough firepower and protection to get that fuel from point A to point B. Have a good night, Boots and Bounty. Appreciate you stopping through. Let me see here. What's up, Julie? Good to see you as well. Roger that, Chief. And that's what the thing is people who are in certain situations, like Chief, who've experienced things that, like what he's experienced, it'll tell you it's not fun. And the majority of people think they can do it, but when it comes down to it, probably not so much. All right, folks, I think I've rambled on enough. I really hope that you enjoyed this live stream. I know we went down some different rabbit holes and stuff like that and pulled out some things. And it looks like there's a little bit of chaos. And there is some chaos right now because I'm grabbing things that I have laying around and putting them in boxes because we're moving. So yes, it's a bit chaotic. I have preps everywhere, I have boxes everywhere. Everything is crazy. But once we get to the new place, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a tour of certain things, my organizational skills, to show you that there's more to me than meets the eye. And we'll go from there, folks. We'll go from there. But anyways, folks, I want to say thank you. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy evening to hang out with myself and the Grey community on the channel. I truly appreciate that. Hopefully, again, like I said, if you did get any value to this, hit that thumbs up button. If you're new to the channel, I appreciate you being here as well. We like to have a lot of fun. We go on different tangents. We just like to talk about things sometimes on these live streams, just have a little fun sometimes, even though the topics can be somewhat scary. But hopefully the goal is that you can at least every live stream that we have, either you learn something from me, you learn something from someone else in the community. We share information, we share ideas, because folks, I'm not always right. And everything I do is not always right. I'm always learning. Every day, I swear I learn something new, either by what I'm reading, but what I'm watching, from someone who writes an email, someone who sends me a correction to something I did or said. I'm always learning. I will never claim to you that I'm some sort of ultimate prepper. I'm far from it. I'm just like you. I'm just another person out there trying to survive whatever may come down the pipe. So remember, folks, you are not alone. I like to say that so many times because, folks, you are not alone. So please be safe out there. Please be safe out there. Other than that, this is GreyMan. I'm out. I'll see you guys in a rebound. God bless. Oh, and don't forget, I'll be dropping that video tomorrow at noon tomorrow, Eastern Standard Time. If you want to, check it out. If not, it's okay. All right. Stay safe, folks.